Click that button right there, and after I click that button right there, everybody should hear us. Hello, everybody. I want to make sure my mic level is right here, because for some reason, when I use this program, no, it's good. It's good. Sometimes it changes my mic. Listen, not for nothing, but lately when I run the show, it goes very smooth. No technical difficulties. Just saying. I'm just saying. Just hi, buddy. Yeah, we're just on YouTube. Because I don't have that multi-streaming thing that you have. As a matter of fact, when I was playing the intro, right, the music, I kept going to your Facebook. I'm like, why hasn't he shared it yet? Why hasn't he shared it yet? But I actually need to know how to do that. I'll go ahead and pay for that software if I need to. I will.
Yeah, or I can just give you my account and just use that.
Well, why not? I use your Zoom account.
That's what I'm saying. You use your account. You make sure everything's okay. The people that are in the chat, it says my audio isn't working.
You have no audio? Try now.
I mean, that's what Bill says. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. On my side, it shows that the microphone is working.
I bet you you're okay now. I bet you are okay now. I might have had.
Okay. So everything that I said, nobody could hear. Good job, Phil. It's just like every time you run the show, you do such a great job.
You know what's amazing too is I just talked about like how little technical difficulties.
I know. I'm waiting for Bill to respond back.
Yeah, you're okay.
I can sort of hear.
You're okay.
It says low, but can sort of hear.
Nope, you're good now. Okay, let's see. Larry is here. By the way, Larry came over to watch You Don't Know Nicotine with me.
Oh, hold on a second. I got something to fix here, just real quick.
Yeah, Jose, it's going to be a little bit reversed tonight. Since I'm running the show, I am in HD and Dimitri is in standard definition. That's correct. When Dimitri runs the show, it's the exact opposite, and that is a Zoom issue. That is not a Dimitri camera issue, although Dimitri doesn't have the greatest camera in the world tonight. But
okay. So people should hear me. I do want to apologize. I'm in my kitchen in my apartment in Athens, and I'm on my work small laptop that has a camera on the bottom left of it doesn't even have the camera in the center of the screen because we are on lockdown here in Greece, and I couldn't go down to my store after 9 o'clock. There's a curfew, and I couldn't go down to my store and connect like I did last time from my office down there. So I'm basically connected from my kitchen, and that's why the audio and the video is kind of horrible.
That's right, and Scott's here. Scott, how are you, my friend? SD Vapes. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
What's up, Scott?
Scott's a good guy. Yes, Dimi has room echo. Yeah. Yes, he has room echo. He doesn't have the greatest. He's on a laptop. I'm
on a laptop.
Yeah, laptop.
I mean, he's just gonna have to deal with it. That's all. I mean, it's about the quality, not the quantity.
Some and we have absolutely zero quality for you tonight either. But some people are just very demanding. Very
demanding. Yeah. I tell you what, if that person that said that could put $100 super chat inside, I can go buy a microphone tomorrow from Wind.
You know, it's funny.
Next time I'll broadcast from here.
It's funny that you said that because I was watching the attempt at the Starship launch tonight. That didn't happen. It got scrubbed again. And I watch it by a guy who's called the Everyday Astronaut. He follows all the launches. He broadcasts all the launches. He's really good. He's really excited. He's very, very good at what he does. He's very, very knowledgeable. And I was watching some of the super chats that went his way. It's like $10, $20, $50, $100, $200. I was like unbelievable. This guy is rebroadcasting rocket launches, and we're here trying to save lives.
You know who else makes a lot of super chats? Scott Taylor.
Yeah.
Scott Taylor bought a new F-150 from his super chats last year. Now, granted, it was the model size F-Ford F-150. It wasn't the full size car. But yeah, anyway, I mean, listen, it is what it is. We wanted to put a show up. We haven't done a show in a couple of weeks. Phil had guests, obviously, down in Florida. So we're going to try to put some content out for you. We hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, that's what we have to offer. I'm sorry.
Oh well. Share. And I think Bill is still collecting questions, right? And he's going to forward those to you, right? I think so.
That is correct. If you have any questions during tonight's broadcast, please do.
Yep. And Cherry, thank you very much. I am so happy that you are loving the 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃. So are we. We're very happy with it. We're very proud.
Sherry got a new job too, so congratulations on her new job. I saw she posted it on Facebook. And by the way, I want to say something. I never believed that I would watch a review that would call a lightweight device a con. You know, I was very shocked at this because, you know what, Phil? I just today I was just thinking about. I had some travel troubles, and I'll talk about that in a second. But just today, I was at the airport and I was at the cigarette section, and I picked up a pack of cigarettes. And you know what I noticed? That a pack of cigarettes is very, very lightweight. You know, and I think that not only vape bros vape that want something heavy with 3 batteries. You know, there's a lot of people out there, women, older people, that appreciate a lightweight device. I just don't understand how it's possible that lightweight will be a con in the 2020 era. I'm just shocked.
I knew you'd be a little salty about that.
I'm not salty about it. Look, I mean, I respect everybody's opinion. I just don't understand how that could possibly be a con, is what I'm saying. I get it if somebody doesn't like lightweightness, I get it, but that's not a con. That is a preference. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's almost like saying, well, because it's blue, it's a thumbs down, right? It just is what it is. Like I can't call something like negative or a con if it just is what it is. Right. And you know, it might be a personal preference thing, like you said. You know, if you like something heavier, you think it feels like, you know, more expensive, more substantial. I mean, let me give you an example, right, of something that I thought felt great, felt substantial, felt like when you got something, you bought it. You bought something. It was the Beep, right?
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, everybody said it was like a brick.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, it was too heavy. Like, so we can't win. Basically, we can't win. No. It's either too heavy or too light.
But I will tell you, my wife, she's 47 years old. She's been vaping for 10 years. And the greatest thing about the 𝗂𝗃 for her as a woman, maybe she's older than Nick, and maybe that's why, because Nick is younger. But my wife that's 47, the one thing that she loves about the 𝗂𝗃, aside from the fact that it's compatible with 𝗂𝗃 and all that she's been using 𝗂𝗃 for the last 4 years, is how lightweight it is. You know, I mean, have you seen a woman's purse? I can find treasures in my wife's purse. I mean, it has everything from, you know, keys, tampons, bricks, gold bars. I mean, you name it, you can find it. So having something lightweight is something that she can appreciate. And I think that I'm not salty. In fact, it's the opposite. I just cannot believe that in the year 2020, reviewers would call a lightweight device when we're trying to bring smokers that carry something very light with them. Very light.
Right.
Because if you put a Zippo, let's say you put a Zippo and a pack of cigarettes together, they're going to be about the same weight as the 𝗂𝗃. I'm just saying that me and Phil think about stuff like that. We just don't come up with shit, right? So I think in a day and age where we're trying to bring smokers to vaping, we need products that they can relate to. We need products that they can carry around and be familiar with what they were carrying before. Yeah. And I just don't understand how in 2020 that would be a con. I don't see it unless there was nothing else, and that's what.
No, you know what? I mean, look. I've said in many of my reviews that I prefer something with a little bit more heft to it, and I always like it's a mind over matter thing where you equate heft with value, and in reality, when I usually say that, I'll go back and say, but I've got some titanium devices and titanium tanks. And thank you, by the way, ST Vapes and Pam, very much for the super chats. Love back to you, Scott. Have me back on. I want to hang with you guys. But, you know, I've got some titanium devices and titanium tanks that are crazy expensive and also crazy light. Right. Yeah. So you really can't equate, you know, weight with, but also I want everybody to understand too. First of all, I saw the comment that the 𝗂𝗃 is for beginners. I don't believe it's for beginners. I believe it's for somebody who wants a pod, but a pod device that is also a pod mod, but also has a good mouth to lung vape in it. And what I'm noticing with a lot of these pod mods is that the airflow controllers suck. Right. They just don't get things tight enough. Right. I think we were able to do it with the 𝗂𝗃 and give you the different ring as well, right? But we're coming off of something like the Beep where everybody complained about the weight, right? Everybody complained about the weight. So we had that in mind when we did the 𝗂𝗃. Where's that feedback coming from? Is that you?
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
So it must be you. I mean, unless, like I said, I put the headphones on so it doesn't bounce off me. So it's probably coming from you.
Probably.
But in any case, I think that we got to think outside the box. We got to stop catering to the same group of people, like these hardcore vapors. And there's plenty of people out there that vape that just don't participate in these shows, don't watch these reviews, and we need to be able to cater to them, as well as being able to cater to new people coming into vaping. And if that's what me and Phil are going to be known for, I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that. But
I'm actually quite proud of that.
People need to recognize that. And when you're reviewing a product, don't review it as a vapor, right? Review it from all angles and try to find why a product was designed or why something was designed the way it was designed. And so, yeah, I was a little bit shocked more than anything. I mean, I like Nick, don't get me wrong, but we just disagree on that. And I think that I don't think it was done in good taste, categorizing it as a con. That's all. As a preference, yeah, maybe I like something that's a little bit heavier, or you like something that's a little bit lighter, but I couldn't put that in a pro or con category for sure.
Right.
But anyway, let me tell you what happened to me. Yeah, go ahead.
Before you do, what were you talking about was important. Looking at a device from a smoker's perspective, and that's why I am excited that we are going to be talking about this tonight, right?
Yes.
The Innokin EQ filter. So stay tuned for that. All right, go ahead, buddy.
So anyway, as you can tell, I'm in Greece, but I had a really hard time getting here. Keep in mind, I came in July, I came in September. This is my third trip in the last, 5 months. And there's a lockdown right now going on. And also, Americans are not allowed into. You have to be a Greek national to be able to travel to Greece, or have, something from the embassy saying that you're essential or work related, that you got clearance from the embassy to get here. Obviously, I'm a Greek national as well, so I don't have any problem coming. I have paperwork to come in here. So I book my ticket and I leave the United States December the 6th, right? I go to the American Airlines check-in counter. I give my paperwork. They say, well, you have to be Greek. I was like, oh, here's my, here's the paper that says I'm Greek. Here's my Greek ID. They punch everything inside, check me in, no problem. I'm checked, going to Dallas, Dallas to London, London to Athens. That was my route. So I get on the flight, I get to Dallas, I get on my flight from Dallas, I fly overnight to London. I arrived in London at 6:10 a.m. in the morning. Apparently, December the 7th, the law changed in Greece, and you also have to have a COVID test, right, to come into Greece, which I didn't know. And obviously American Airlines didn't know because they checked me in. If that was a requirement, they wouldn't be able to check me in from America. So this must have happened basically while I'm in the plane flying over the Atlantic going to London. So I get to the British Airways counter, because now I have to take British Airways from London to come to Athens. And this lady, I'm not saying British chicks are, whatever, bitches, but yeah, she was a bitch. So she gets all my paperwork. Now, I knew possibly that I might need a COVID test, and I have a COVID test with me that I did 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But I get there, and she says, we need your paperwork. So I give her my paperwork, my Greek ID, this. She's like, where's the PCT test? And I was like, what PCT test? She says, you need to have a COVID test to go to Greece. And I said, well, I didn't know. I said, I have one here. She looks at it. She's like, oh, it needs to be within 72 hours. So this is not valid. If you did it 3 days ago, it's not valid. It has to be 72 hours in order for it to be valid. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, well, you're just going to, here's where the racket begins, Phil. Here's where the racket begins.
Okay.
The girl next to her says, oh, you can go to the Sofitel hotel that's inside the Heathrow airport, and they do COVID tests there. Oh. So you can do the COVID test. You can do the COVID test there and stay there and fly the next day. So go to the American Airlines counter and tell them to rebook you for tomorrow or the day after. This is exactly what she said, for tomorrow or the day after. So I take my paperwork and go to an American Airlines counter, and the guy there looks at his screen. On his screen, it hasn't updated yet. It doesn't say anything about a COVID test. Takes my paperwork. He takes me back to the British chick and says, look, just check the guy in. They're like, no, he needs to have a COVID test. So American Airlines tried to do the best. It's about 7:30 a.m. now in the morning. So I take all my paperwork. I leave my bags in the airport with American Airlines. And I go to Sofitel. Keep in mind now, they do the test. They have the rapid tests, the rapid COVID tests.
Right.
So I get to the hotel. It's 7:45. I mean, it's just walk, out of the terminal to go to the Sofitel hotel. And I talked to the manager there, and I said, "Can I do the test?" He says, "Yeah, you get a room, and and the COVID test is included in it." And I was like, "Look, my flight is not until noon today. Is there any way I can do the test now and just get the results and go to my flight at 12 o'clock? He's like, "No. Here's where the mafia kicks in, Phil. Listen, you're not going to believe this. They're doing this shit on purpose to capitalize on it." He said, "We do COVID tests all day. You get your own little kit. You take it. You open it up. It has like a little tube inside with some liquid, and you spit in it, 4 mLs. You seal it up. You seal everything down. They take your number, and they collect the test at 8 o'clock at night. And you get the results 12 hours later, which means 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. And they do this so you have to stay at the hotel and not pay £200 for a fucking room at the Sofitel in London Heathrow. £200, so it's $270 for the room just to stay overnight. I mean, a complete ripoff. So anyway, I go, I do the test, I give it in, I go to the room, I sleep for a little bit, I'm up all night. I get up in the morning, I go downstairs, I have breakfast, and I walk over there and I said, "Can I get my test results back?" So they punch it in. I mean, I guarantee you, they could have done this like in 15 minutes if they wanted to the day before. So I take my COVID test, comes back negative, thankfully. I take my COVID test, I go back to the airport. I go to the counter from British Airways, and I fall on the second bitch that probably works at British Airways, right? I had the first one yesterday. This is the second one. She says, "Okay, I said, "I have all my paperwork in. All they need is the PCT test, and I have it right here. Punch it in, give me my seat so I can get the fuck out of here." She's like, "Oh, no, we have to get all the paperwork. Now I have to go through the whole thing again. Yes, I'm American, but I'm also a Greek national, and here's my ID. My ID says Dimitri, but my passport says Jimmy, so here's the letter from the embassy that says Jimmy is a Greek citizen, and he can travel to Greece. Oh, and by the way, here's the fucking $300 PCT test that you made me buy yesterday at the Sofitel hotel." It was a mess, But anyway, I left the United States at 6 o'clock in the morning, Phil, on Sunday, and I arrived in Greece Tuesday at 10 o'clock at night. I came to the house, and of course, what's the first thing that I would logically do here is order a gyro. I ordered a gyro. And then the second logical thing is
coffee.
To pour me some Johnny Walker Black.
Oh, okay.
No coffee. It's too late for coffee. Tomorrow. So that was my travel woes with getting here.
So here's what I think. Here's what I think we need to do. So we have the smoker show and we have the DP show, and I think you should have your own travel show. I mean, because your travel stories do take up quite a chunk of these shows. They do. But that's.
Well, I mean, I would, if we had an editor, I would love to do that when we travel. Like, just give them the footage and say, go to town. But it's just hard editing that much. I love watching. There's a few YouTubers that I watch to do travel stuff that I like. There's a lot of goofy ones out there too. But I think that we would do a really good job with reviewing airline seats and airlines and hotels and food and stuff like that. And but we need somebody to be able to edit the video, and that's the most time consuming.
Let's do it, but yeah, because it does take a lot of time to edit. It takes a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort to edit. You've seen me do it. You know what's involved. But let's do that. Let's make a pact here that the first time we get to travel again, we'll just review everything.
Okay.
Just like everything we like, right down to the urinals, we'll review everything. Yes. Okay.
Oh God, why does that always revolve around pee?
I don't know. Because it seems to be what you're most interested in. It really does. So, but the good news is, you had the rapid test, so they didn't have to scrape your brain again.
No, they didn't. Oh my God, they didn't have to do that or my throat. You just basically, it's just like a little tube, and you spit in it, and you keep spitting on it until it fills 4 ml. You seal it, put it in the bag, and done. And it's the microbiology test or whatever. It's the good test. It's not like the cheapo test.
And that's a rapid test too?
Yeah, it's a rapid. It takes them a couple hours, he said, but generally they say 8 to 16 hours, and they do that so you can spend the night at the Sofitel. The Sofitel is making a buck. I mean, listen, people from all over the world are traveling through Heathrow, so if Sofitel is grabbing 100 clients a night, at 200 pounds per. I mean, they're not going through a recession or COVID or anything. They were packed.
Listen,
I saw other people there too.
Larry, just want you to calm down with the 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗀 comments. Be careful with the 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗀 comments when Larry is watching. Okay, please. Larry was with me the other night when we watched You Don't Know Nicotine. He was here. We watched it together.
Awesome.
And the good news is I only had to pause the movie once for one of Larry's pee breaks, so not bad.
That's it? Was he wearing a bag? And it filled up?
I actually bought him a urinal for the boat. Like when we go out, I mean, the boat has a porta potty, but who the hell wants to clean a porta potty? So I got one of those little handheld urinals, right?
Oh, so that's cool.
So tell me about vaping in Greece right now. And so you said are you on lockdown, or are you a curfew, or what is it?
So right now they're on lockdown, but during the day people go out. So there's a system here that the government uses. It's a text system. You send a text to a number, and then you put a category. So example 2 is I'm going to go shopping. I need to get groceries or whatever. Then you put your name and your address, and you send the text, and the government sends you a text back that, okay, you're free to move about. So it goes to pharmacies, hospitals, anything that you want is categorized, even vape shops, because they're considered essential. You put that number inside and you go. So during the day, people are out. You have to wear a mask everywhere. But at 9 o'clock, that's it, curfew. Nobody's allowed out after 9 o'clock. Like, you have to have an excuse to be out after 9 o'clock. Like today, I didn't get out of the airport until 10 o'clock at night. I picked up my car, and if I got stopped, I had my boarding pass to show that I flew in after 9 o'clock. That's why I'm going home. But after 9 o'clock, there's a curfew until 5:30 in the morning. Now, there's a couple of reasons why they do that. I mean, obviously, number one, you've been to Greece multiple times, and you know how we party. We start at 10, 11 o'clock at night. Everybody's on top of each other, and there's dancing, and there's drinking, and there's a lot of exchange of body fluids. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is that they don't want the hospitals to be overwhelmed with accidents, because when people drink, you have accidents, car accidents, people get sick and stuff like that. So they want the beds for COVID patients. And so that's another reason, which is not very known, but that's one of the thinking behind of having this curfew and people not going out. But it's very rough, especially for a country like Greece, because like I said, you've been here. You see how people enjoy going out and spending time with their friends and having a good time, whether it's going to be a coffee, whether it's going to be a restaurant, whether it's going to be drinking or live music. It's a big part of the culture. So a lot of the people psychologically are not. I was just talking today to a friend of mine on Facebook, and she said the same thing. Like, psychologically, it's affected a lot of the people because you're just kind of stuck inside. So we'll see. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to send the text, and I'm going to go down to check on the stores and see what it looks like on the outside. Tonight, coming here home, it looked like a bomb had dropped, and there was no sign of life anywhere. Like on the main street here in front of my house, remember we used to walk up and down, and it was just packed with people. I saw one car, that's it. No, and a few motorcycles that are delivering food. Delivery places are open. That's how I got my gyro. They delivered it here. But the street was eerie. It was just an eerie feeling. I felt some fear, something bad had happened. It was really, really weird.
Now, how about so I've heard from some people now, in the UK and a few other countries where they've started the vaccine injections. Where are you guys with that? Because it's going to start happening real soon in the US. But where are you guys with that?
The EU will follow pretty much whatever the EU direct, because Greece is part of the European Union. So whatever the European directive is, that's what Greece is going to follow. But I assume here within the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to start seeing the vaccine here. Dr. F told me today that the initial vaccine that has been given and the patients have been monitored, they haven't seen any adverse effect, except the usual stuff. When you get a vaccine, you might get a little fever or topical pain and stuff like that, but they haven't seen anything bad from the test subjects that started in the UK. So that's good. The bad news is that a lot of people might not know in America but I will tell you right now, and I hope that you guys can get out of Fox News and CNN and do a little research by yourself. Pfizer signed a deal with the UK government that they cannot be sued for any wrongful deaths of this vaccine. So basically, they got a pass. So
yeah, that's with any vaccine,
give this
though.
Vaccine out, huh?
That's with any vaccine, though, isn't it?
I don't know. I will tell you with this particular COVID vaccine that they cannot be sued. That's the deal that they made here. And I mean, look, for a private company, Phil, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's correct. It's one thing if the government is doing it, but it's another thing if you have a private company that's making a profit of this product is doing it. But look, vaccine or no vaccine, I just don't think that 2021 anything is going to change. I don't think that we're ever going to be normal, going back to the way things were before. I think that's never going to happen. I just think that moving forward in our lives, we're going to have to make some adjustments, and we should expect to see that this is going to come back and people are going to get it. Some people will become immune, and we're going to move on the next 5-10 years as some of the other illnesses that have come across humanity in the last 100 years.
I don't know. I might have
it sucks, but that's the truth.
Yeah, I might have a little bit of a different view on that, but okay. So vape shops they're open, right?
Vape shops are open. They fall under the tobacco category here in Greece, so they're considered essential. We have rules in place how many people can be in the store, masks and stuff like that. But there's a lot of traffic online. A lot of people are getting used to ordering online. But the two stores that are up here, they're okay. It's okay. It's not like it's busy or it's dead. The one store in Athens is dead because down there's nobody. It's just a complete ghost town. But we opened it up this month just to have the option available for people down there that want to get vape stuff. Which is another thing that a lot of the people that didn't order online before feel doing it now out of necessity. And once you do it out of necessity and you figure out like, oh, this is not bad, you might have lost them as a walk-in customer as well too. And so that's why I said things are going to be adjusted. It's not going to be the same like it was before. I don't think it's ever going to be normal in the sense of what we knew before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could see that when it comes to vaping, but I think life needs to go back to normal. I think people are going to demand that life go back to normal too. But I agree with you; it's going to take a while, and hopefully, it's going to chew into 2021. But we do need to see things go back to normal. I want to just say to Melissa, next time your dishes can wait. Okay. The show is much more important than your dishes, so please, dirty dishes in the sink, Melissa, okay? And just get to the show. And who else did I want to mention? Hold on. I got a new mouse, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with my new mouse. How about that? Where is it? Janine. There we go. Janine, you are amongst friends. I don't know what you have going on. Behind the scenes, you just mentioned that you got back from hospice with your mom. I apologize. I'm sorry to hear that if anything's bad is going on there. But welcome to the show, and hopefully we'll put a smile on your face for a little while. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had a poker buddy, a Greek buddy of mine, pass away a couple of days ago from COVID, too, and down there in Georgia. And, hey, listen, this is just the world, and we have to be careful and take our precautions, but we also need to be able to live, I think that if people were smart, I don't like both sides. I don't like the side, like I see this on Facebook all the time. You have one side that says this is a complete hoax and it's my right. I'm not going to wear a mask and the government is lying and fuck, all this vaccines. And look, you have that side. That's bad. Then you have the other side that's completely extreme. It's like, oh, no, don't come close to me. And, don't do this. I think both of those are wrong. I think coming to a middle ground and look, I was raised like you feel. If my mom told me to put on a mask, guess what? I'm going to put on a fucking mask. Just out of respect. Right? Just out of respect. And we just don't have respect anymore. This humanity is turning into something evil and mean and non-negotiable, and it sickens me from both sides, from both extreme sides. I don't see it's right. I mean, I travel. You've seen me. This is my 3rd time coming to Greece. I always take my precautions. I always wash my hands. I social distance myself, and I try to protect myself, and I try to protect my family. I don't go to. I'm not going to go out to nightclubs and dance and spit on other people, or other people spit on me. That's just common sense, right? But we have to be able to live our lives as well too, and I think that's important from a psychological standpoint. And to try to feel a little bit of normalcy as well, too.
So you're saying you're going to go through an entire trip to Greece and there's not one person who's going to spit on you? Like, not one?
Yeah, believe it or not.
It doesn't sound like fun at all, really. It doesn't.
It's not fun. It's not fun, yeah.
You know, when go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. Greece is like my escape, and you come here for a couple of weeks, you want to see your friends, you want to take them out, you want to entertain them, you want to drink, you want to have a good time. And when you can't do that, it sucks. Yes, I'll get to see my friends, I'll do some work, I got some business to take care of, but ultimately it just doesn't feel the same. You're a little bit psychologically down from that.
Yeah. To Laura, I'm so happy that you are vaping and enjoying the Zly tank that Dimitri and I put out. What am I rocking? What am I rocking tonight? Well, occasionally I rock in my chair. Sometimes like when I'm walking, I'll rock a little bit. But what I'm vaping is I've got the 𝗃𝗄𝗃, right? And by the way, inside the 𝗃𝗃, I have the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line, the delicious watermelon peach. I am also using the new Innokin EQ filter that we are going to talk a lot about tonight, right there. And then I'm vaping, this, which is the 𝗃𝗄𝗃. Yeah, you got one of those too, right?
Well, I have a 𝗃𝗄𝗃 with the adapter. That's all I took on this trip. I took 3 𝗃𝗄𝗃s, one with the adapter and then 2 with the pods. But we got the Zenith 2 that we're finalizing testing on. I have that on the 𝗃𝗄𝗃 with the adapter. Then I have another 𝗃𝗄𝗃 here with the Cool Citrus.
This adapter?
No, not that adapter. The Top 10 adapter. And then I got 2 filters. By the way, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of people tried to start drama with the EQ filter because I posted it on my Facebook. And people thought that me and you were putting out heat, not burn. I mean, this is how stupid vapors are. Like the IQ of vapors, dirty, filthy vapors, these people are the bottom of the fucking pit. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Like, how many times are we going to go through this big tobacco thing? You're not fucking Geraldo Rivera. You didn't fucking discover that me and Phil are big tobacco. We're putting you're a low life scum piece of shit.
Hey,
the day that I become big tobacco, trust me, I will be the first one to come on here and tell you. But don't be stupid. They see the filter on it and they think we're putting out a fucking. I posted on the bottom. I said, "Yeah, the next thing we're releasing is cigarettes. After this is the first product, and then we're gonna put out cigarettes." It's fucking stupid people. Stupid dumbasses.
People really are. I mean, some people are really annoying. What did I posted something the other day. I'm just gonna try to find it here real quick. No, that's not it. Oh, yeah, it was just a quick post that said, "May 2021 bring you the happiness that 2020 took away." And then one of the people were like, well, 2021 is going to be bad too, and you should say that. And then somebody said, where can I get the Aries 2 LE under that post?
I have a new favorite saying, Phil.
And by the way, hold on, just one more thing before you get to that. And Phil, no, see, and I know you're joking about this, Phil. About open your eyes, there are other flavors out there, right? If I'm whether or not it be the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line of the delicious watermelon peach, whether or not be that, it'd be something else. Why do I have to open my eyes to other flavors if what I'm using is making me happy and keeping me off cigarettes? Because that doesn't only go for liquid, that goes for hardware too, right? Yeah. So and again, I know you were only joking, but think about that joke, because that joke applies in other areas and the way vapors treat other vapors, right? Why are you using that old device? Why are you using that old flavor? Why? Because I'm not fucking smoking anymore, right? And the thing that I'm using, the device that I'm using, the flavor that I'm using, whatever I'm using, thanks to the fact that I'm using it, I'm not smoking, right? So you don't have to open your eyes to other stuff if where you are, you're happy, right? But if you are dual using, and when I say dual use, I'm talking about vaping and smoking, right? Or if you're smoking and you haven't found vaping yet, and you haven't been able to successfully either quit using standard cessation products, or haven't tried vaping, then you need to find your niche. You need to find your happy place. You need to find your liquid. You need to find your hardware, right? But if you found it,
correct.
If you found it, you can keep searching, but you don't have to keep searching. How about that? Right? Does that make sense?
Don't stress over it. We just had a message today. The message said, this goes exactly what Phil was saying. Hey, Phil, got a 4-year update. The e-cig didn't stick and went back to the smokes. Think you were right and got sick of trying to get the perfect vape. See, when you're trying to chase the perfect vape, sometimes you just give up and you go back to cigarettes. And then he restarted, got an MVP fine, F5 with a K-Fun Prime clone. It was okay, he says, until he found the Glide, designed by me and Dimi. I knew I had to try it. The 1.2 alcohol is perfect, flavorful vape, 𝗵𝗵𝗃 18 milligram, and he's not smoking. It goes to show you that something very, very simple is all you need to quit smoking. My favorite saying is, by the way, just before I forget.
Go ahead.
In 2020, the goal was to avoid negative people. In 2021, the goal is to avoid positive people. Positive, as in tested
COVID, tested COVID. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I got it before you started explaining it, but I got it.
I had to draw a diagram for you here on my kitchen. But speaking of 2021, it's a great opportunity for you to help your people quit smoking. And as you know, that is one of the Innokin's favorite things to do. And a lot of the products that me and Phil design, and a lot of the products that Innokin puts out, is for to help people quit smoking, and quit smoking economically and satisfying, and with open vapor products, not closed vapor products, and not heat, not burn, with e-liquid vapor products, and not cigarettes. We're not yet. We're not making any of that yet. But when we do, we'll let you know. So this idea of the EQ filter was actually brought by me and Phil to the owner of Innokin. I want to say 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years, right?
2 years.
2 years. It took that long, folks. Yeah, and I think to be fair, it took a long time because of the draw. If you're going to create a product like this, the draw needs to be spot on. And if you remember when we had Brandon from Evolve on the program, and we talked about how much time they spent 3 or 4 years of engineering with all these air tube tests and all that, it's true, because it's very, very hard to mimic the resistance of a cigarette, and to do it well, where the consumer is going to be satisfied with that draw. And that's one of the reasons why the EQ filter took a while to come out. But it's finally here, and we want to talk about it because we believe for the value, for the price, and for what it does, we believe that this is a great arsenal to help people quit smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of things to say about this. I really do. But one of the things that you said, right? We brought it to them 2 years ago. So if you're wondering why the micro USB as opposed to the USB-C, right? 2 years ago. So they've been working on this for a long time. And I'm sure the way it was originally spec'd, with the micro USB, and it was probably too late to change. I think I had I don't know if you want to call it epiphanies when I was using this. There was a comfort factor there that brought me right back, right? So if you guys watched the stocking kickoff, the 2020 stocking kickoff video that I did, whether it be kind of like the replay that I did on YouTube or in the platform group on Facebook, I talked about it a little bit, and I said I had some profound shit to say about it. Not necessarily profound, but I thought about it a lot, and I thought about like, you know, when Brandon brought us the Reflex, and how the Reflex, you know, he said simulated a cigarette, and it really does, right? There is some really, really cool technology there. And yet, even with all of that technology, I felt more comfortable, and it brought me back more to smoking when I was using this, which is what, $18, right?
Yeah.
Versus the Reflex. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Phil, you work for Innokin. You're obviously going to say that. No, I tell the truth about this stuff. I really do. I mean, I tell you the God's honest truth. I tell you how I'm feeling, right? And there was something about using this. And another thing that you've heard from me time and time again, right, is that at heart, deep inside, I am still a smoker, right? Only now I get that experience through vaping. And that is exactly why I have never changed the style of vaping that I enjoy, right? I have never gone to restricted direct lung because you don't smoke a cigarette restricted direct lung. I have never gone to direct lung because you don't smoke a cigarette direct lung. I have never cared about the clouds because you don't get clouds from a cigarette, right? So I've always enjoyed that sensation, that experience, the smaller mouthpiece, the tighter draw, the mouth to lung, the flavor, the throat hit, the whole thing. It's all got to come together to keep me personally, right, 𝗵𝗵𝗀, satisfied. And when I used the Reflex, yeah, I had that experience, you know, where you suck harder and you get a strong. But when I used this, it really brought me back to smoking, and it felt comfortable. And Dimitri and I often talk about, you know, we want to give a smoker something that they're comfortable with, something that they're used to. We don't want to like rattle their cage too much. Now, if mouth to lung and what we talk about, if it doesn't work for you, right, then you try restricted direct lung, then you try direct lung, you try whatever you need to get off of the cigarettes, right? But if we could give them not only the sensation and the draw and everything else, but we can also give them the mouthfeel, the exact mouthfeel that they're used to, I think, again, that's a plus. So, will this appeal? Again, this kind of, goes back to the Reflex a little bit. The Reflex maybe not for a vapor. The device may be not for a vapor. You might not enjoy it. You might not like this. Vapors might not like this. But this is another tool in the arsenal to give a smoker, right, to give them something that they're comfortable with and maybe more familiar with. Right? It's not without its problems, and we're going to talk about those too. But there is something about this that I really enjoyed using when I got it. D?
I think the feeling is mutual on this. To me, the most important thing is the feel in the mouth and the draw. Right, and prime example is what I partnered it up with.
Did you just say? I'm sorry. Did you just say feel in the mouth? Feel in the mouth?
Feel in the mouth.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Feel in the mouth. Yes. I partnered it up with my good friend 𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧 here, and using it while drinking scotch really has transformed me back to the days of my smoking days. Because, you know, coffee, cigarettes, scotch, cigarettes, they just go hand in hand. So drinking scotch now, I find myself more comfortable picking this up and getting that feel in my mouth as I'm having a cigarette, like I'm enjoying a cigarette while I'm having the scotch. And even though this does not have the variable draw resistance, it has, in my opinion, again, you're going to say, just like Phil said, oh, it's Innokin, blah, blah, blah. But in my opinion, that this has the most cigarette mimicking draw than any electronic vaporizing device on the market today. Hands down, I think that this is one of the best draws, and for its price, okay? Because we have to keep in mind to understand the thinking of why this device came out. And it came out with a few things that could have been done a little bit better, or some of the things we might have fought harder for. But it came out on the market for $20.
Yeah.
$20. A puff disposable, a puff mega disposable is $13.99. Keep that in mind. A puff disposable mega is $13.99. You buy this battery, you use it, and then you throw it away. And this device with a refillable tank is $20. And that's very, very important for somebody that's transitioning.
Absolutely. No airflow options, Matt. We're going to go through the whole thing in detail. You know, when it first came out, I really wanted this to be a platform product. I mean, Dimitri and I did bring the original idea to them. We wanted having it now, right? I think most of me would still like it to be a platform product, but I also wished, and I know this isn't going to happen, and I've already hinted at this, I wish that Innokin would contact me and say, Phil, we are going to let you have free reign on the Filter 2. There you go, right? We're gonna let you have free reign on the Filter 2, right? Whatever you want on it, we'll go ahead and put it on there, and we'll release the Filter 2 as a platform product. And I would be very, very happy. This is how strongly I feel about this, right? I would be very, very happy if they allowed me to do that, and that became my legacy product, and I walked away.
Yeah, but I think the problem that you run into is that device is going to cost $75, just like the DNA the Reflex, the one that you're going to design. And again, that limits smokers from trying. As much as I like the Reflex, by the way, the Reflex will be available at Liquid Puff here in Greece starting tomorrow, all 3 stores and online. But so will the EQ. The EQ will be available tomorrow. We partnered up with K110 EU here in Greece, and we're doing a big launch for the filter. So they're going to be. Somebody asked if it's available in Greece. It'll be in the stores in the next 2-3 days. But I think I think when you look at from a manufacturing standpoint is what makes sense. How can we get this to the price where we can sell a lot and a lot of people can try them versus, like I said, the Reflex at $80. It's going to be very hard for a smoker to go into any place and drop $80 on a pod. Then you have to buy 2 replacement pods, for example. You have another $7 in that. And then you have to buy a couple bottles of liquid. You have another $20 inside that. You have $110 initial investment. In my opinion, you're excluding 98% probably 99% of the smokers, you're excluding them in that price range. But at $20, somebody that's interested in trying vaping can get that good experience with a device like this. I think that is the difference, and why this is not the perfect, in all sense of the word, vaporizer that makes a cigarette, because then it wouldn't be $20. It would be, $120. If I let you design it, it would probably be $200.
Come on, like $199.99. Seriously. That is how strongly I feel about it, right? I would love to be able to do that if given the opportunity. But yeah, you're right, and we talk about that a lot too. We talk about the perfect replacement. There really is no perfect replacement. I think you can. Right. Okay, so if you had a valve technology, the reflex technology, in a form factor more like this with a soft tip. Now you're getting closer to a cigarette.
Oh, absolutely! That was one of the things I was going to say. But take the board from the EQ, from the Reflex, and put it in the EQ. Now you have. But then again, you're looking at a $100 proposition. It's just not going to be able to be feasible for that price. But I will tell you, honest to God, if you're a smoker right now, or if you're a vapor and you want to help somebody quit smoking, buy this device, throw some 18 milligram tobacco inside, and only buy like a 30 ml bottle of tobacco, 18 milligram, and give it to somebody. Chances are you have a high probability that person is going to quit smoking. That's how confident I am in this. I mean, as cheap as it is, we, especially here in Greece, we're spending a lot of money with K110 to really promote this, because we believe it looks like the IQOS. It's small like the IQOS. It has the same hand feel. If somebody's used to the IQOS, for $20, they might give vaping a chance as well too. That's why the whole concept came to be like this, right? It's very, very lightweight. It mimics the IQOS, and we're trying to get people to try vaping. That is the goal. And let me tie this in with this question from PSS. And thank you for the question. Phil Basardo and Dimi, no drama, but after all you guys have done, why do you feel you need to defend yourself? So you design products to help people quit smoking and you make money at the same time, so what haters going to hate? I agree with that. What really pisses me off, PSS, what really pisses me off? And I absolutely agree with you. It's not that, we're not trying to create drama. But I feel like some of these people that are criticizing what when I'm talking about professional people in this industry, reviewers or designers or whatever, some of the people that are criticizing me and Phil benefit from me and Phil, because we bring new people into this industry. So if one of my products helps somebody quit smoking, guess what? Next week he might decide to go buy, the $75 overpriced Addy that some reviewer is going to put out. So it brings money into the industry no matter what. And we feel like the support needs to be across the board. We need to support each other in order for this industry to grow. And if not, guess what? Big Tobacco really is going to put us out of business, because they're going to be sitting there waiting for these smokers that got caught up in these piss fights between vapors, and they're like, I don't want nothing to do with that. And they're going to go to their familiar Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, or British American Tobacco, or Japan Tobacco International. They're going to buy their products and they're going to say, fuck this industry. And we're all going to be gone. That's why, PSS. But anyway, let's go ahead and show the, you want to do the close-up?
Yeah, before I do, one more little epiphany that I had when using the filter, and I was thinking about this a lot, right? This is going to tie a little bit into the movie You Don't Know Nicotine, and that dickhead Bloomberg, right? So Bloomberg is behind a device, right? And
sure.
And that device, if you look at it, it's pretty slick. It's pretty sexy, right? It's a lot like a Juul. And then you talk about, the Juul, the Juul form factor. That's what's in right now. That's what's popular right now. That's what's in. So why? Because this look isn't cool. Because like the cigarette look isn't cool. So I think the question becomes, if we're designing slick and we're designing sexy, right? And who are we designing for? Are we designing for the next generation of users? Because the current generation of users use this. That's what they use. That's what they're used to. They're not used to something that's flat and square and rectangular. They're not used to that. They're used to this. Why did we move away from designing this? And the more I think about that, the more I think it's like, why are we trying so hard to make it look slick and make it look cool? Because if we make it look slick and we look cool, then we're maybe not appealing to the very same people that are using this. And to me, that doesn't make any sense, right? So that was another little thought that I had when I was using this, and when I saw the You Don't Know Nicotine, and I saw the product that Bloomberg is behind, right?
Yeah, the only difference is that that's a pharmaceutical product that'll be distributed through a different channel, not through vape shops and tobacco outlets. So
okay, but it still looks slick and cool.
I know. It's just like from a pharmaceutical. If it's granted some kind of a application to be sold as a pharmaceutical product, it won't be attractive to kids. That's all. They won't find it attractive. It's probably going to have a dosage meter, and it's probably going to be shit. They're not going to be attracted to it. But anyway, that's not here and there. Let's talk about the filter. That's what I want to talk about.
All right, so you go ahead and do a little intro here. Let me pull the camera in place and make sure everything works, okay?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows. Hold on, let me see if I can do this on the fly real quick. But before Phil gets into showing you the product, as you may have noticed with the Chroma Z and all the products that have come out lately from Innokin, all the packaging has been changed. There's no plastic. Everything is biodegradable and recyclable, and all the packaging that you're going to get from Innokin products now, even down to the little replacement coil bags. If you remember, if you're a Z coil fan, all these used to come in plastic. Now they come in paper little pouches. Everything that's inside the packet is clearly printed on it, but all these are biodegradable and sustainable. Just a little, I mean, there was some pressure for the carbon footprint, and I hope more companies follow suit to that. But if you think about how many products are produced in China and how much plastic ends up, I don't know how environmentally, conscious you are, but if you are, keep in mind that Innokin has taken a step to do that. And also, new warranty on all of their products from 90 days to 180, and I think 180 is probably one of the longest in electronic cigarette products. But in order to get the 180 warranty, you're going to have to go to the website and register your product. That way it's categorized inside their database. They know it's an authentic product, and then they extend your warranty from 90 days to 180 days automatically. So, yeah.
Correct. Everything you just said is absolutely correct. All right, you should have the close-up cam on screen right now. Do you?
It looks great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so this is the box.
The books.
That the Innokin EQ-FLTR. By the way, it's so funny when somebody like who's never watched my videos before, they're like, "Why do you say box so funny?" It's all Dimitris' fault. So this is the box, and again, like Dimitris said, everything here is biodegradable, so it's going to look a little bit different than some of your other packaging. But we flip this open. Let's see, what do we have? The scratch and sniff authenticity sticker on the back, and that's it. So this is actually sealed right here. So I already cut that, and I'm definitely getting some background noise from you there, pal.
It can't be from me. I mean, I'll mute.
Yeah, somebody says it sounds like you're flushing a toilet. It does a little bit. Okay. All right, so anyway, this is what the device looks like. It does have a cover, so there's the cover in place. Take this off. We'll get to the pod and the battery and everything else that's included. Underneath here, you're going to find the micro USB charge cable right there. You're going to find the coil. This is going to be a spare coil. This is going to use Scepter coils, and it's going to use the 1.2 ohm Scepter coils, okay? So it's not like you can use the other Scepter coil with this. And then you're going to have a pack of the disposable soft tips. All right, we'll talk about those in just a little bit. You're gonna get your warning and safety guide, and really like kind of like the whole manual. Is there? I thought there was another manual with this, but it's basically here. There's like kind of a brief manual on how to use. Oh, there it is. It's under there. It just looks like part of the packaging. So here's the manual as well. So the battery on here is going to be a 400 milliamp hour battery. It charges at about half an amp. It takes about an hour to charge. Here's your pod. So your little pod is right here. It's kind of a push and twist to get out. So that's covering one of the child safety features. So it's push, twist, and then it'll pop right out just like that. You're going to have a little tab right there. I'll zoom in. You're going to have a little tab right there that's going to prevent this from firing accidentally. So it does say remove. So I'll go ahead and remove that. There you go. And the coil, again, is the Scepter coil. So again, here it's a push and twist. And that's going to release this, and you're going to see a little Scepter coil right there. So obviously you're going to want to prime that, a couple drops there in the center, and maybe a drop of e-liquid on each one of the liquid ports. Remember, coils have cotton in them. They have some kind of a filler material, some kind of a wicking material. If you don't soak that material with e-liquid first, and you use the device, you're going to burn that coil instantly. That cotton will burn instantly, and it is not recoverable at that point. If you don't want to manually prime it, you can certainly put this in just like this and fill up your pod with e-liquid and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and that also will prime and get that filler material in your coil nice and wet. Now, you're also going to get the filters, right? So let me zoom out again here a little bit. And we'll see what that looks like. All right, so you're going to get a number of filters. You're going to get 5 of these filters. You're also going to get a regular mouthpiece, so you can use this regular mouthpiece right here in place of the filters. But if you want to use one of the filters, they do say Innokin on them. I don't know if you can see that right there. All right, you're going to take this little pin. You're going to insert the pin filter for you to push it in. All right, so I'll go ahead and take this, reassemble it, and then take the filter and push it on just like that, right? This is a completely automatic device. There is no switch on this. So the act of drawing on it will activate the device. I believe the pod is 2 mil, D? You there? Are you muted, Dimitri? Dimitri?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the pod is 2 mil. Yeah.
It's 2 mil, right? Okay, I thought so.
Just trying to find the button. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. So it is a 2 mil, and there's a little window right there that you can see the e-liquid in. Now, all right. So that's pretty much everything. It's really simple. It's a really simple, little, easy device. When the battery dies, that's going to start to flash on you. I don't even think there's a color indicator on there for the battery charge. I didn't really look at the battery charge. I just noticed mine. The other night just happened to die, and the little light flashed on me. Oh, I can show you this too real quick. I can show you the different colors because I did get this reviewer pack here. So take a look at this. So here are the different colors that are available. There's like a gold here. This is almost like a greenish gray. I think that's green. There's going to be a blue right there. There's going to be kind of a dark gray black, and then the red that you just saw, right?
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
so
I think before you move on, I want to touch on the mouthpiece a little bit as well too. You know, you do have a plastic mouthpiece inside. Even if you're a vapor and you don't find this soft tip to be comfortable, you can actually just use it with a regular mouthpiece, and that's included in the package.
Just like that.
There you go. Just like that.
And a very, 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 very narrow bore on this. Now, I haven't used the mouthpiece, so I don't know how that narrow bore is going to equate to pulling condensation up into your mouth. We will talk about condensation here in a little bit, and we'll talk about what you're going to run into with condensation using these filters.
So I'm using the black tip on my 12 milligram freebase. I've got them set up two ways. I've got 12 milligram freebase in the green one, which is my all-day vape. And then I've got 20 milligram hybrid salt freebase in this one, which is my travel liquid, right? It's a little bit higher nicotine because I can only vape a little bit when I'm traveling. So, and I've got the soft filter on this. And I will tell you, with a 20 milligram liquid in this and that little soft tip, man, it is, in my opinion, it's very, very, very close to a cigarette. It's frighteningly for somebody that has quit smoking 10 years ago, close to a cigarette. And while I'm sitting here sipping on my scotch and I was watching you do that presentation, you know, it was just a natural feeling, a nice deep throat hit, you know, when you're taking a sip of scotch and you want that burn afterwards, like, you know, when we used to smoke, right? When you took a shot and then you lit a cigarette, remember that sensation that you got? I'm getting that same sensation right now. And it's really enjoyable for me.
So that's what I got. I thought the airflow was, like, for me, damn near perfect. You know, it's very close to a cigarette. Very smooth. It's extremely quiet. I think the flavor is, I mean, you're getting pretty much that Scepter flavor with maybe, like, I don't know, like that much of a reduction because maybe it's coming through the paper filter, right? Now, I'll talk about drawbacks. I mean, because that's what I do. You know, I'm fair. It's not regulated. Okay, so the vape quality is going to change a little bit as the battery runs down. I would like to see it be regulated. The other negative here too is that
on that. By the way, I just want to touch point. To me, I notice it when the battery is like about to die. I don't notice it, like, it has to be like under 20% for that drop to be noticeable while you're vaping it. So you're going to be very, very close to the recharge status on it. But it is pass through as well too. So.
Yeah. So a lot of people will ask, because they know how finicky I am when it comes to, like, the power and the throat hit. So the question is, am I satisfied at 12 milligram? Yeah, I am. I do have to take maybe a little bit of a larger hit. It might not be as strong as, like, maybe a Zenith using a Z coil, but certainly satisfying enough from a throat hit perspective. And it's that nice, tight, defined throat hit.
I find myself taking a different kind of draw on this feel. You know, I find myself doing a little bit of that extended, kind of like I did when a cigarette. You know, it's like I draw on a different, automatically when that soft, you know, felt touches my lips, I draw on it, like naturally draw differently on it. I don't know why. I do.
It's almost like it's like, wow, you know, this is comfortable, and it's like what the cigarette used to feel like, and it's it almost like relaxes you into a slower draw. It's really bizarre. Yeah. Like, the whole experience is really bizarre. Pam, the battery is a 400 milliamp hour battery, so, you know, depending on how you vape, if you're using high salt and not hitting it very much, it might go close to the full day. For me, it's about a half a day, right? For me, it's about a half day. Now, the other negative here too, right, is that if you are using the soft tips, in addition to changing your coil, you're going to need to change the soft tip. When I was using like, if I use any other small device, right, every now and then, and I've come to expect this over time, every now and then I get a little bit of condensation in my mouth, right? Every now and then, a little condensation in your mouth. It's something you get used to as a vapor. You know, sometimes that ruins the experience for me if it's a lot. But if it's a little bit, it's kind of expected. With this, I didn't get any. Okay, nothing.
Zero.
And the reason why is because the condensation, once the vapor goes above the plug, okay, that little plug, it gets absorbed into the filter.
The filter.
Right? So the filter becomes a sponge after a little while, right?
Yeah.
What I noticed was after 2 tanks, I started to get like a little bit of like, I could tell that the filter was full, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like the filter was full, and if I squeezed the filter, I saw condensation like drip out of it.
Yeah.
So I think the recommendation is, and I think Innokin's recommendation is, change it every two tankfuls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, when you're using high nicotine, I mean, 4 or 5 mils is probably what you're going to be using through the entire day. That's when I use 20 milligram, that's what I vape, about 4 or 5 mils. And that little plastic stick has a lot of uses. It's designed to disperse the vapor into that filter before it comes into your mouth. You can use it without the plastic insert inside and just use it straight with a filter. Just keep in mind, more condensation will get quicker to the filter than it does with the way that little plastic thing disperses it. I used it maybe 3 refills, 4 refills before I replaced it, and I noticed the same thing. It's usable, but it's not as enjoyable as it is when you put a new filter on there, like a new, mouthpiece on it, if you want to call it that. But for somebody that's a smoker coming off trying this device, I think very quickly what they can do is transition into the plastic mouthpiece, because that's another one way of you to break away from the cigarette, because this is the smoker show, and this is what this tip is for. Use these, you get 5, 6 of them, buy another pack, they're very, very cheap, but try to transition from this drip tip to the included plastic drip tip. And then if you decide to move up and try another vaping device, that plastic tip that you're going to get on the new device is not going to be unfamiliar. You've already practiced, if you want, with the EQ filter. So it's a good transitioning step as well, too, to try to get away from that and get used to the mouthpieces that we use in vaping.
So it's really interesting because I'm actually vaping it with the plastic mouthpiece on camera for the first time, and it's almost like when I'm using the soft tip, I feel like I'm smoking. When I go back to the plastic tip, I feel like I'm vaping again. Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't that crazy? So far, no condensation in the mouth from it.
No, I use the plastic drip tip. I haven't had any issues with condensation. Keep in mind that the pod is long, okay? So we have a lot of travel for it to get up there. So it'll take a while for that condensation to get up to your mouth as well, too. That's very, very important when you have a very short chimney and you have the coil very, very close to your mouthpiece. It's more chances of you getting condensation versus having a very long way for the vapor to travel up, especially if it's being absorbed into that filter before it gets to your mouth. So, yeah, I haven't had any issues with condensation myself either.
Let me, Larry asked a question about the filters. Will they come in 20 packs? Do you have a pack of filters there?
I got the questions. Yeah, I do. I've got some questions to get to as well too, but
because I for some reason I pulled out a filter pod. But I didn't bring a pack of filters, but I could easily go get one if you want to see them, a close-up cam.
Yeah, hold on. Because I actually positioned the camera on the box that the filters...
No. I tell you what, just talk for a while. I'll go grab a pack.
I got it right here. Here we go. So the soft tip packets come like this, and it has inside 10 pieces. So there's a 10 pack in each one. And I think these are very, very cheap. I don't know. I think it's like a couple of bucks, if that.
Yeah, so here they are. Yeah, 10 pieces, Larry.
Yeah. So let me get to a couple more questions that we have on this particular subject, and then I'll go to the other questions as well too. What is the best PG/VG percentage for this device, says Johnny Stansel. I've tried it with 70/30 and haven't had any issues. It's basically like the Scepter, right? So the coil feeds like the Scepter. So, I mean, my all-day vape is 60% PG, 40% VG. I'm trying that in one, and then the other one is a 50/50. But I've tried it with the Cool Citrus at 70/30 as well, too, and I haven't had any issues. So from 40 VG all the way to 70 VG, that should be the range that you should be okay. And it's the same experience I've had with the Scepter as well too. I wasn't listening. What's the battery like? 400 milliamp hour.
Yes.
My mic is picking up the refrigerator behind me. I'm sorry.
See, it is you. Always blaming me. Audio issues, you always blame me. Yeah, Janine, the tips are biodegradable too.
Yeah. So when will it be available in the U.S.? So that's a great question. Honestly, Johnny, we were not planning to launch this in the US, believe it or not. And I'll explain why. If the demand is there, I think that Innokin would be more than happy to bring it to the US. This product was designed for very specific European markets of heavy smokers. We're targeting Italy, Greece, France, UK, Germany, because simply our products sell very, very well in Europe. And number two, how do I say this without pissing off a lot of people? I mean, vape shops they're just not interested in this style of vaping. It's either 50 milligram disposables or nothing. You know, that's what we're seeing in the US market. It's unfortunate. It's a sad affair, but you know, maybe some online websites will decide to bring it. But honestly, we just have not seen any demand for these products in the United States. It's tragic, honestly. I hate to even say it, but here in Greece, there's been a lot of excitement over this, and we're very, very happy to strike a lot of deals, not only in Greece, but in Italy and other European countries. And the demand for this product is because of the price. There's some other companies that have attempted to do the same thing with filters on top. There's a V-Stick, and I think there's a couple other products on the market. And not to take anything against those products, I think that the draw on this and the price point beats them, right? And I think that's very, very important. So there you go. About $30 for a pack of 10 of those filters, yeah. But K110 is the company that we made the deal here in the United States, and they're doing the huge promotion to launch it. But we have demand. The vape shops here, their bread and butter is coils and liquid. It's not disposable. So we have a lot of demand here for these products. And that's why I'm not sure what Innokin is going to decide to do in the US market. I hope it's available, and I hope people take it seriously to have another option in the vape shop. It just seems like, I mean, if we can't get the Zenith and the Zylight in the vape shop, it's going to be very hard to get the filter.
Yeah. Larry, I agree with you. Let's do that. Let's open up a vape shop that's just about conversions. We'll I don't know how much money we'll make. We'll ask Dimitri for a loan on that one.
Go ahead and spend all your 401k on that. By the way, another question real quick. Do you guys know if Innokin would be making CRC compliant products for us Canadians? We started on the project a year and a half ago, PSS, because we knew that these regulations were come. Zylight, Zenith Pro, all already CRC. Not all the products that Innokin makes will be able to comply, but we have a really good range of products that are ready to go for the Canadian market. We had to do it for Italy. So the designs, the Zylight is a two-step process to open. The Zenith Pro has a two-step process to open to refill. So we have the products ready to go for the Canadian market. I think it got an extension. I think it was supposed to be the first of the year. Now it's got pushed to July. But whenever that happens, PSS, then the products will be available in Canada.
Yeah, hold on a second, Dimitri. A very important announcement to make here right now. This is an exclusive. Marshall is here. Okay, carry on. That's
hey Marshall, what's up?
You know, it's sad because I was talking to George about this, right? And I wanted to know, like, where's it going to be for sale in the U.S.? Because if I want to talk about it, where do I point people to? And he's like, it's kind of for the European market. And you know, I was telling him, like, this device should be in every vape shop in the country. This is one of those things, like right next to the Zenith and the Zylight. I mean, it's just one of those products that should be everywhere. And it's so sad. It's so sad that it's not.
It's all about disposables, man. It's just like there's no conversions happening in vape shops anymore. You just have these people who come in and buy the disposables. And look, I'm not bashing the product. I think a lot of people think that I bash the disposable when I say that. I think a variety of products is really, really good. But I think that if you offer to somebody that's truly a conversion and not a dual user or some kids that are peddling, disposables in school. But if somebody really wants to quit smoking and you sit down and you have a trained employee and presents the two options of a disposable and this, I think that any logical adult smoker would look at this and say, well, this makes a lot more sense. It's more economic. It's more to a cigarette. I can adjust my nicotine. I'm not stuck to this 50 milligram that I become then, accustomed to, and I really want to have that high nicotine. I think it makes more sense. But unfortunately, that's just not the U.S. market today. And it's, to me, it's really upsetting and saddening, but that's the reality, and nobody can dispute that. If anybody tries to dispute that, you're out of your fucking mind. And it's sad. It's sad that smokers don't have these options anymore for whatever reasons that is, whether that be the government, whether that be, you know, the media or whatever. Look, we have that here in Europe as well too. But I think that the vape shops that are trying to maintain that path of like, look, we're not smoke shops, we're not tobacco shops, we're vape shops, and we need to sell the products, number one, that help people quit smoking, that have the variety and the availability. Number two, makes money for the vape shop to survive. Number three, longevity of coils, which is a huge problem for the vape shops, right? I mean, we know that these coils will be around so you can continue to sell them. So they're just widely, I mean, we have done extremely well in the European market. I mean, me and Phil, I think with Innokin, and I think that Innokin will tell you the same thing. I think with the Zenith, we really brought Innokin back to the map, and the pieces that we have sold signify that. And look at the amount of Zenith tanks and slides that we have sold over the last 3 years, and to see under 5% in the U.S. is, I just don't know. I mean, we're talking about 3 million tanks, man. I mean, under 5% in the U.S., maybe 10% in the U.S. That's just, I don't know. It's weird. I find it extremely weird.
This is disappointing. It's disappointing, and you know what else I noticed about this too? Not once when I was using this, never once did I ever feel anything on my mouth other than the tip.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't get any other tank, like when your lips touch the tank or anything like that. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why that plastic tip is so long as well too, because that's why it's designed to sit up. That way the only thing that you're going to put in your mouth is going to be the tip.
Yeah, there's something.
Just the tip, sir. Just the tip.
Something strangely satisfying and familiar about the whole experience. I tell you what.
I wish that Greece was not in a lockdown, because you know some of the clubs that I go to, Phil, there's a lot of smokers there. And I would experiment with it. I would take these, put 𝗨𝗪𝗪, which is my #1 tobacco selling line here, put 𝗨𝗪𝗪 inside there, like 12 milligram or 18 milligram, and just give them to somebody. And it's like, here, just use it for the next 2 hours that I'm here. Tell me what you think. I would do that. It's just that it's unfortunate that it's not open right now. But I do want to see the experience and how smokers are taken to it. And I'm going to be here in the next 2 weeks that I'm going to be here. I'm going to notice it in the stores if we get some people that are trying to convert, I will get their reaction. But if I, that have not smoked in 10 years, if I'm getting that feeling, I know that it's going to help smokers quit.
The other interesting thing too, when taking this in the public, especially Greece, they're going to see that, they're instantly going to think heat not burn.
Absolutely.
Right? That's going to be
which is cool. Which is cool.
What does a pack of heat sticks go for in Greece?
Same price as a pack of cigarettes.
Okay. And what's that?
Like five between €4 and €5, like $5 to $6.
Okay, so $5 or $6. So let's say $6. I keep talking. I'm just going to do some math.
Yeah.
And
okay. So yeah.
So $6 a day. Okay. Go ahead.
I want to address this comment right here. At $20 price point, you can give it away with the purchase of a bottle of liquid, toss your smokes, pick up a butt. Yeah, you could. These are all great ideas, PSS. Unfortunately, vape shops are not attracting smokers anymore. And we've talked about this on the Smoker Show. It's not just the vape shop. It's now they've become hybrid. They have bongs, they have pipes, they have Delta 8, they have CBD, they have flower, they have combustibles. The vape shop has changed in the last few years. It's not like it used to be in the beginning. So I think that, yeah, all those are great ideas, but it's not like it used to be back in the older days where a lot of smokers were driven into the vape shops. They just don't go anymore. And again, that's just the reality. So I mean, I'm definitely going to do a promotion here in Greece. I already have a promotion running for $20 here. You can quit smoking, everything that you need, liquid device and everything, running at my stores here in Greece. Now, in the new year in 2021, I'm going to do the same thing with this. $20, I'll give them, 2 bottles of liquid. I'll give them a few coils in the device, good price, something that can get them started over the next 2 weeks. They don't have to spend anything. And that is how we drive new customers to the shop. But it's just, I don't think that the same thing can work in the US in today's market. Did you do your math?
Yeah. Okay, so I mean it's a rough estimate, but so let's say in Greece $6 per pack. Most people smoke a pack per day, so figure $42 a week.
Yes.
Roughly, okay? So
yes, that sounds about right.
If you go to this device, and let's just say you use a pack of filters, right, and a pack of coils per week. That's probably an overestimate on the coils.
A pack of coils a week? Yeah, that's a little bit overestimating. But let's say, okay, I'll go with that.
Let's go with it.
I'll tell you what it is. A pack of the center coils is $10.
$10. Okay, so I got a different number. So $10. So we'll say $13 a week.
That's a 5-pack of coils is $10, and then $3 for the filters, $13.
So again, people complain, well, I didn't get a lot of time out of my coil because maybe you're using a high sweet liquid, whatever. Okay, yeah. Even if you did a pack of coils per week and a pack of filters per week, you're looking at $13 versus $42.
Yeah, then $20 for a bottle of liquid. I mean, a 60 mil, 12 milligrams should last you a week if you're vaping 5-6 mils a day, right? You're still more economic if you're using as much as we've estimated here. You're still going to save money, but ultimately, you're going to feel better because you're going to quit smoking. So sure. That to me is priceless, right? I mean, I don't think that there's any doubt that if you want to be economical in vaping in today's market, you certainly can. You can buy an Aries, learn how to build your own coils, and then you make your own liquid if you want to, and then you spend $10 a month and you're good to go for the rest of your life if you want to. But even if you're buying coils, in my experience, like my wife, again, I put my wife because she's the perfect example of the vapor that me and Phil are catering to. Who our target customer is, my wife. She uses a 60 mil a week of 12 milligram a week, right? And she uses a coil a week. Right? She vapes between 3 to 5 mil a day of 12 milligram. So, and maybe a little bit more when we go out and have drinks or whatever. So a 60 mil a week and a coil a week. That's what she spends to vape. That's it. That's her cost. So for people to say that they're spending too much money on vaping, yeah. I mean, if you're somebody that loves to chase the dragon and buy a new device every week and try and use, yes, you're going to spend more money. But that's a little bit of the romanticism of vaping as well, too. People like to try new things. But if you're using this simply as a cessation, and this is what I want to use, you find what that perfect device is for you, and then you stay away from social media. That way you don't have to see all the new shit that comes out, and you just stick and be happy with what you have and quit smoking. Because ultimately, that's what the goal is. The goal is for you to quit smoking. Wherever you go from there, if you become a martial, hobbyist, if you become, a DIYer, if you want to become somebody that uses coils or rebuilds your coils, whatever you decide to do after that, that's up to you. If you want to go buy an atomizer that has huge holes on the side and blow clouds and be a dragon, you can do that. But first, you got to quit smoking.
That's right. And I want to say hello to Dennis, but more importantly, I want to say hello to Dennis's daughter. I miss her. I miss her terribly. Dennis, please let her know that.
You too, Dennis, but mostly Pamela.
Yeah. I was going to say that, but I'm glad you did. So let's switch gears here because we only got about another half an hour left. And let me ask you this question, okay? And Larry, I want you to put a little comments here in the chat. I know it's like, oh no, we're early tonight, so Larry can stay for the whole show. It's exciting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm like looking. I'm like, Larry's still on. And then I realized the time change here. But did you know nicotine? That's the question. So the name of the movie, the documentary is You Don't Know Nicotine. Did you know it? Because I know what my answer would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I did. I mean, I run a state association, and I've done research for the last 7 years. Absolutely, I knew what nicotine is, and for me personally, as Dimitri, yes, I knew what nicotine was. And that's not what I got out of the movie, but I think that the average public and a lot of the people that are in charge of making laws are making laws on a product they have absolutely no clue about, and they have absolutely no clue about nicotine. So for people like that, especially people that are in charge of making decisions that affect us on a daily basis, need to know the truth, and they need to understand what this chemical is. So for me as a vapor, I really enjoyed seeing the balanced approach, and I really enjoyed seeing this movie be, again, I'm sorry, Aaron, but it's 100 times better than A Billion Lives, because it was two-sided, right? It wasn't one-sided. A Billion Lives was one-sided. It was like vape, 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 vape. But on this, we got to see the opposition, a little bit of the opposition, but some key components in the opposition, like 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗀, Stanton Glantz, and some of these people that really have been huge opponents of the tobacco harm reduction movement. So seeing both sides and seeing what drives both sides, again, I mean, I kind of knew it, but I liked that I saw it actually documented on film, that I believe that even if you're not a vapor, you'll look at that and you're going to say, why is this guy against vaping? Why is Stanton Glantz against vaping? Is it some kind of ideology? Like, does he truly believe because the big tobacco companies were evil in the 80s that this was some kind of ploy? That's the good thing. The bad thing that I think Aaron left out of the movie, a huge omission. Again, people, please don't send me hate mail. I'm just saying my opinion.
Your interview?
No.
My interview.
Yeah, no.
Okay, go ahead.
The one thing that I think Aaron does a very poor job, or a zero job of, is showing how this product was not born by big tobacco companies.
Yeah.
This product was born by consumers. This was born by consumer innovation. This was a movement that was born by people that wanted to get away from big tobacco. And I think we need to shine more light on that if we want to ever disassociate ourselves from the big tobacco companies today that offer vapor products. Because not enough is being put into the fact that back in 2010, vapor products were not on the portfolio of Philip Morris or BAT or anybody else for that matter. It was strictly consumers, modders, innovators that were taking products, making them better, that were innovating, coming up with ideas to vaporize the liquid more efficient and more satisfactory for the consumers that were using it. And if you want to know nicotine, you have to understand how consumers, and this grassroots consumer movement, took nicotine and removed it from the deadly equation, which is cigarette, and put it into this technological wonder, which is called the electronic cigarette, and how we got into today.
Yeah, I would say, I think if the question was, did I know nicotine? I think for the most part I did, but it was really nice to have one place within 2 hours to hear not only the observed or the perceived negatives, but also the positives of what. I'm going to read a couple things here, okay?
Sure.
And I think that I got my glasses on, and I think people need to hear this, right? Especially, I'll talk about that in a second. So, calms the brain down, slows internal chatter, helps direction and focus, increases the number of receptors, helps with depression, high blood pressure, obesity, Tourette's, brain function, HIV, Down syndrome, lowers blood pressure, appetite suppressant, no adverse effects, no negative cardiovascular effects. Wow. Right? I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, it's not even smokers that need to see this, right? Because smokers already know that they're doing something bad to them, and this movie wasn't necessarily about. It was a little bit about, vaping is a much less is harm reduction, right? It's the delivery method, but it's the people. I think it's the people who are so anti-vaping because they think the perception is that nicotine is this evil thing. Let me just share with everybody what I did in the interview for the movie. Okay, what I said to Aaron was, what if nicotine came from a bean, right? And that bean was roasted, and the bean was ground up and steeped with water, hot water, and from that liquid we created all these tasty beverages, and that's how we got our nicotine. If that was the case, nicotine would not be the devil that it is today, right? Because it's actually very similar to caffeine with some potential health benefits. I mean, they're looking at ways to use nicotine as a potential medicine in certain areas. It's the delivery method that nicotine has been associated with that has made nicotine the devil, right? So we've removed the delivery method. We've taken that bad delivery method away. We've given it a much cleaner, much purer delivery method, but it's still being demonized. And like you said, it's almost like Glance is like a creature of habit. No matter what you do, no matter how pure you make this, he's just always going to have that negative opinion because of the fact that nicotine has been associated with cigarettes for that long, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's
Absolutely.
what it is.
It's an ideology. It's an ideology, Phil. It's just like something is, the guy's old, whatever, I mean, there are some financial motives as well, too. But I'm totally against vapors that say this is all about money. Yeah, in part, a lot of it is about money. But there's also people out there that no matter what you tell them, you're not going to be able to convince them that we're not some evil people that are out to hook their kids on nicotine. Because that's simply what they believe, okay? Because once again, we as an industry have not done a good job in a PR format to show that, hey, look at us. We helped millions of people quit smoking over the years. Hey, it's us, this little vaping industry over here. Phil, Busardo, Dimitri, Nit Grim Green, I Get You 69, all these guys, we helped a lot of people quit smoking. It's us. Look, all they see is Philip Morris and Juul, right? And then they see the fruit flavors and the cartoons and all this stuff. And this is all these. So it's very hard for you to be able to, as passionate as you are, and trust me, as somebody that talks to politicians every year for the last 7 years, I can tell you I've experienced that many times. I've sat down with politicians that no matter what I tell them, I'm not going to be able to change their mind. So we have to be, number one, we have to pick our battles a little bit better and go after the people that we can, shift. And all we need is a majority. We don't need one person, right? And then number two, what we need to do is do a better job in the eye of the public. And I think that the movie had the opportunity to do that, and it didn't do that, meaning that to show that this movement, no matter it's turned into a multi-billion-dollar business now, but this movement began and still is owned in part in a huge market share by independent small businesses across the world. And I think that's extremely important to disassociate ourselves from this big tobacco stigma and this ideology of like, oh yeah, you did the same thing with Joe Camel back in 1980, you're doing the same thing with vapes now. Because this is what we hear all the time, which is not true for us. I mean, some people think that me and Phil are still big tobacco, even now with the heat not burn product that we're putting out. But again, that's not here or there. We're not. We're just people that want to help people quit smoking. We'll make a few bucks along the way, right? And we have to be able to connect that nicotine portion with that industry and separate it from that, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate of tobacco that's up here hovering over us that is creating this mass confusion of what this product is. Even the other day, Philip Morris, by the way, Phil, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
The other day, Philip Morris tweeted out, amongst this youth epidemic. I mean, this is a playbook. And look, I get some people are like heat not burn, this, it's less harmful, I get it. But guys, listen, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that would literally gang bang their mom for $1, okay? They tweeted out that there's a youth epidemic. So when you have a company publicly saying that we acknowledge that there's a youth, you know what that tells me is like, here I am, I'm really creeping up to the government, and I'm trying to be their friend. I'm going to say, yes, we do have a problem, but once you get rid of all these other guys, the 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗀, the Dimitris, the boosted, the cannoli B1s. And once you get rid of all these guys, we're going to make sure to give you some money and we're going to curb this youth problem. When the moment that Altria tweeted that, to me, once again signifies that a lot of the problem that we have right now is from within the industry as well, too. So we have these big tobacco companies that are throwing us under the bus as well, too. So as much as I believe in harm reduction and the heat map burn, and I see all these vapors trying to be like these fucking, Mother Teresa's of harm reduction, and yeah, I don't care if it's big tobacco. Yeah, I don't care about the product either. I've said the same thing about Juul. Yes, it's a reduced harm product. But fuck them. I mean, if they're going to go out publicly and say that there's a youth epidemic, when we all know that these numbers have been manipulated and altered by the government, and all they're doing is just saying, yeah, government, you're right, but we're going to help you, then how can you possibly support that? How can you possibly sit there and say, yeah, this product, we should support this product? They go fuck themselves. I don't care. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you think of me. I'm just telling it like it is. Double check my facts and then come back and debate me because I'm right.
Yeah. Congratulations to Black Knight Dave. We appreciate you going out there and getting 5 of your friends to quit smoking and passing down your used vape gear. That's what this is all about. And we're here. You bring smokers around, have smokers interact with us. Call us when Dimitri's back in the States, when we have the phone lines open, and we're more than happy to hand out kits. Innokin is extremely generous with the kits that they send us for you guys. Okay, that's something else that I said too in the stocking kickoff contest. Innokin really does care, and unfortunately, they're not rewarded for it enough in the States. They're not. Okay. But one of the interesting things that I got out of the movie, and this is going to be, I'm really curious to see how this all plays out, right? But I heard several times in the movie that nicotine in its purest form may not be as addictive as everybody says it is, right? It's addictive because it just makes us work better, right? It makes us function better. So maybe because it makes us function better, it's potentially no more addictive than that. Think about it. Think of how important that first cup of coffee, that first cup of caffeine is to some people for them to function properly, right? So now go ahead.
Addiction is not the right word.
Okay.
We're dependent on nicotine.
Right.
We're not addicted. I highly suggest everybody go on YouTube and watch, just Google on YouTube, search Father Jack Kearney, nicotine is not an addiction. And you'll see what I'm talking about. We are dependent on nicotine, but we're not addicted to nicotine. Okay, there's a huge difference. Right. I'm not going to go out there and sell my body to get nicotine or rob a convenience store to get nicotine. I am not going to go rob or kill somebody to get nicotine, which are all traits of heavy addiction of drug users. It's a completely different animal. It's a stimulant. And anything that's a stimulant, of course, your body's going to desire it, right? Because if it stimulates your brain, there is stimulation that happens when you inhale nicotine or you deliver nicotine to your body in any kind of form. Very similar to caffeine, as Phil correctly pointed out. So once you get used to that, this is a problem with the 50 milligram disposables. You get people on 50 milligram disposables, it's very hard to get them to come. And again, I'm not saying they can continue to use 50 milligram disposables, and they're definitely going to be less harmful than cigarettes. But if you want to enjoy vaping and throttle the intake of your nicotine inside, it's very hard to do it on a set number, meaning you got 50 and you got nothing else. The open vapor space gives you that opportunity to throttle your consumption with your nicotine level intake of what you want for your body to titrate, to be happy. And colleges is the prime example, and I'm glad that it was brought up in this movie because a lot of college students use nicotine in order to be able to focus, right? And I think that's why Juul was very, very successful in that marketing, strategy that they did with the 18, 19-year-old crowd. And a lot of the college students were using it as a replacement for cigarettes. Unfortunately, it's spilled down to younger people as well, too. But it is something that people do need. The key here is, will nicotine kill you? And the answer is definitely and absolutely and positively no. And before we do anything, from a legislative standpoint, for example, we have to answer that question first. Because we always hear about, hey, and this is what part of my interview was in this movie, because when Aaron asked me about kids, I was like, so what? So what if they're using it? That was my answer. And maybe that's not very politically correct, but it's the truth, because I've answered that first question. And the first question is, will nicotine kill you? And if your answer is no, then you move on to a vapor product that is way less harmful in the delivery of nicotine to your body. And if kids are experimenting with vapor products now, who cares? I don't give a fuck. There's way worse things that they could be experimenting with than vapor products. And that, again, that first question, I think it was addressed in the movie. But I think this is one of the questions that we have to lead off when we're trying to promote vaping, is like, first understand nicotine. If nicotine does not kill you, now I put it to you in a product versus another product that will kill you. This is another product that removes the harm that this product does. So ultimately, what are we left with? We're left with a dependency on nicotine. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
Right. But I mean, it's so socially acceptable to walk around with a T-shirt that says, "Don't talk to me until I've had my first cup of coffee." Right? That's fine. But like, and that's okay. Like, everybody accepts that. Like, oh, you know, I'm grumpy until I have my first cup of coffee. I mean, think about what you're saying there. Basically, you're saying the same thing that, like, nicotine does for people. Only, but it's a different delivery method, right? Comes from that bean, from that ground up bean.
And also, we put out something that caffeine does not. We put out that little cloud that looks like smoke.
Yeah.
Where the brains of every human being has been trained over the last 50 years to look at this coming out of your mouth and associate cancer with it. They see that, and all they think about is cancer. You know, that's the connection that your average citizen has done: smoke and cancer. So we're mimicking that thing. So automatically, people are going to they're like, oh, yeah. Well, I don't want your strawberry cloud, you know, give me cancer, you know?
Yeah. Another interesting thing from the movie, the comment about it's going to be interesting to see if, you know, the kids that are vaping, is this going to become, like, are they going to become truly, is it a fad? Is they're just trying something out, or are they going to become nicotine addicted to it? Because this would be the first time that we would be talking about an addiction with just nicotine in its purest form. Whereas before, we were talking about it with the cigarettes and everything that was addictive in the cigarette too, right? So, but I tell you, one of probably the thing that I enjoyed most about the movie was the fact that it really made Glance look like a fucking fool.
Yeah, it did. I think that the questions were done very, very well from Aaron, and he kind of put him in the corner where he had to answer him. And it was very diplomatic of Aaron. He really, really handled that correct.
Yeah. But I like.
Before you go to that, let's go back to what you just said.
Okay.
About, like, yes, there's going to be initiation use. There's no doubt about it. But again, go back to that first question: is it going to kill you? Right? Because imagine if alcohol companies only depended on existing users. They would go out of business, right? Of course, kids are going to experiment with alcohol. They're going to drink alcohol. Nicotine is the same. It's desired by the human being. So whether it's going to be in a vape form, in a smoke form, in a dip form, in a snooze form, people are going to seek it out. They're going to get it.
Yeah.
So yes, there's going to be initiation. But the good thing is that it's highly unlikely that they're going to die of cancer or tobacco-related illnesses as they did with cigarettes. That's the benefit that vaping brings.
Absolutely. Because, well, I mean, if you say what you just said, right, will nicotine kill you? No. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to argue with you. Well, yeah, it will absolutely kill you if you use enough of it. First of all, your body won't allow you to use enough of it for you to kill yourself with it. That's number one. Number two, drink enough water and you'll kill yourself, right? Yeah. Drink enough alcohol and you will kill yourself. Do anything in excess and you will kill yourself. Maybe not masturbate. I don't think I'm proof of that I'm still alive, right? But like other things, you do enough of it, you're going to kill yourself. So, yes. I mean,
Phil, I have asked, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I've asked over 20 politicians in the last 7 years to produce to me scientific evidence that shows nicotine causes cancer. And, let me just answer to you. There is none.
No,
there's
it doesn't.
absolutely none. There's absolutely nothing to show that nicotine will cause cancer. And all 20 of those politicians have not been able to, they'll show me a study that says somebody that has hypertension, possibly, I mean, if you have a pre-existing condition, obviously, when you stimulate that condition, whatever it is, you're going to see an uptake, right? But there's no scientific proof that shows nicotine will cause cancer. And again, that goes to the original question that we always talk about. Will this cause cancer? No, and there's no proof of it. However, all these words are manipulated by the ants and the anti-tobacco control lobbies and people like Glantz that say, there's a possibility. We need to investigate further. We can't allow it to be guinea pigs. We can't sell this product until we know for sure. So all those words are put into, on purpose. Their PR firm is telling them to do this. And then politicians get a hold of this and they're like, oh, look, it may. But when you ask them, hey, can you show me proof how it may? And they're like, it says here may. This is their response. And laws are being made in America today based on that. And that's a scary proposition as a citizen, as a human being. You as a citizen of America should be very, very concerned that people are making laws based on that assumption and not scientific data. Yeah. Because that could happen with any product. It could happen with masturbation, as Phil said. And listen, if they ban masturbation, Phil's going to be one angry guy.
I will be breaking the law. I will be breaking the law. I'm breaking the law every day.
What I was just thinking about earlier? I was going to bring it up when you were doing the EQ filter, and I didn't because it was funny. But I was vaping this while you were doing the close up, and I was drinking some scotch, and I was like, I wonder how this will feel after sex. And I was going to ask you, but I'm sure you haven't tried it.
Well, I can tell you how it feels after sex with yourself.
Yes, it is.
It's very pleasurable. It's quite satisfying. Yes, thank you. Go fuck yourself. Thank you. So we're getting to the end here. Wait, hold on. What time is it? I don't know.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning here, by the way.
And I know, and I appreciate you actually doing the show. I know it's really, really late for you, but I want to go back to what I said earlier. I'm really happy that the movie did make Stanton Glantz look like a fool. Okay, and the first thing that I picked up on was when Stanton started to talk about like Viagra and the penis and like not being able to get hard. I noticed what Aaron did, and he put goofy music behind Stanton when he started talking about that. Right, that was the first thing, and then I wish I could share clips with the movie, but I can't. But I am going to share two stills. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to share the two stills that were at the end of the movie. Okay. So there was this one. So this was at the very end of the movie, after everything was over. And it says, in 2020, a widely cited study by Dr. Stanton Glantz claiming nicotine vapor produces an increased chance of having a heart attack was retracted by its publisher. Reviews are pending on other co-authored studies. That was the first slide. And the second slide was this one. Amid professional controversies, Dr. Glantz stepped down as director of the UCSF Center for Tobacco Control and Research and Education in June of 2020. He has also stepped down from teaching. So that made me happy.
Yeah, well, he's got 3 sexual harassment, cases at UCSF. In fact, I tweeted him yesterday. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you're missing out. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm in perfect Twitter, but I'm really good at tweeting. So he hasn't changed his bio on his Twitter since he stepped down. It still says that he's the professor. So I tweeted him yesterday. I tweeted him this. It was great. It was fantastic. Just a second. Let me just bring it up here. I want to read it exactly how I have it written. Come on.
It's okay. Take your time. We got nothing but time. It's 4 o'clock in the morning for you. Yeah.
Change your bio, Professor Glantz. That way, women are no longer afraid to join the program at the University of California, San Francisco.
Yeah, listen, you know what? I think you're just trying to get Stanton to ban you too. I mean, you already got, the Surgeon General to block you. Now you're trying to get Stanton to block you. That's what you're trying to do.
Medals, baby. That's medals on my chest.
Do you miss tweeting the Surgeon General?
No, I still tweet him on his. He can't ban me on his U.S. Surgeon General Twitter account. He just banned me from his personal account.
Oh, okay.
So I still tweet him on his U.S. Surgeon General account. But no, I won. I won that. I mean, I got under his skin. So that's a medal to me. And I think that Glance hasn't banned me all these years. If he bans me on that, that would be, again, a win, because what I said is absolutely true, that women are afraid to join the program because he's a sexual predator. And unfortunately, with COVID, all the Me Too movement went away, and he probably would have went down if it were 2 years ago when it was like really, heavy. The Me Too, I think if we would have put a lot of pressure on the Me Too movement, they would have shifted at some point and looked at that as well too. But unfortunately, because of COVID, it died down. Yeah. But I will say one thing about again, I'll be the bad guy once again. As always, I'm the asshole. As great as this movie is, and like I said, 100 times better than A Billion Lives, not only will the right people not see it, but unfortunately, from what I understand, not a lot of vapors saw it as well too. And it's unfortunate. It's really, I think that this movie is probably, I mean, I haven't seen all of Aaron's work, but I think because I'm a documentary buff, I love watching documentaries on Netflix. I think it's Netflix quality and above. And it's unfortunate that we can't get it on a platform. I'm very surprised in today's world where COVID has not allowed a lot of new release. If you look at Netflix, doesn't have a lot of new releases because of COVID, right? In fact, on my flight here, my long distance flight from Dallas to London, the movies on the plane were the same movies that were in September. Like nothing has updated, right? Because of COVID. I'm really surprised that we can't get this into more mainstream media. And I'm really surprised. I mean, there was a lot of drama with Aaron and Vaping Legion, beforehand with this movie or whatever. But I'm really surprised people wouldn't spend $17 to $18 to watch this movie, even from vapors, just to say your support. I mean, look, people hit me and feel all the time. We'll throw $10 here, $50 here, $20 there on stupid shit. Like, I don't understand why people wouldn't throw $17 to watch this movie and maybe gain a little bit of knowledge. I know vapors, most of them, especially reviewers, are know-it-alls, but you can learn some things from this movie. But ultimately, it's about, showing some support and trying to get some traction going, and hopefully some mainstream streaming service or something will pick it up. And I know it's still early. Don't send me, especially 𝗵𝗄𝗆 does this. Don't send me fucking mail and tell me, oh, he's working on this you're his fucking secretary. Don't send me on that. I don't care. What I care about is protecting this industry. I'm sad. And again, you want me to go on record, Phil? I'll go on the record. I mean, it's people that need to see this movie are not going to see it. There's no way that I can call my congressman or go to the assembly in Nashville where I talk to all these politicians and say, hey, I represent vapors, so here, go watch a 2-hour documentary. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what makes it even worse is go watch this movie, but first you're going to have to go to IBEX. You're going to have to create an account. Then you're going to have to pay, and then you can't really watch it on any platform. You're going to have to watch it behind your computer. I mean, yeah, that's going to be a barrier for a lot of people, right? Even I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. When I watched it, I texted my brother and my mother. I said I finally got to watch the movie, and my mother said, "Oh, I want to watch it." Right? There is no way in hell I'm going to be able to explain to my mother how to go watch that movie. It's just not going to happen, right? So it does need to be in an easier format, and hopefully soon. Hopefully it will be. I mean, I'm sure Aaron's working on that, and I'm sure that's going to happen. But the way it is right now, I don't want to say it's cost prohibitive because it's not. I mean, it's really inexpensive, but it's just a hassle. And you know how people. People don't like hassles. They want everything to be as easy as possible, right? So that's going to be a problem for some people.
By the way, I got a message from somebody. I'm not going to say his name. Maybe I'll save this for the book. But I got a message from somebody that said that paid them and recorded the whole movie and uploaded it to a cloud. I got a private message. It's like, if you haven't paid for it here, you can go watch it here. And yeah, I'll save it for the book. But I did get that message. I have it, screenshotted as I do everything else. But that's sad.
Somebody we know?
I mean, Yeah, that's sad. It's just sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like me, I'll be honest with you. I was so tempted to just, do a cam movie, just like record it and like show some clips during this, like really tiny clips. But I mean, I'm better than that, and it's IP, and Aaron doesn't deserve that. It would be the same way, like if we do put out the book and somebody records the book on tape and makes it available for everybody for free. I mean, how would we feel about that, right? Yeah, that is good. I know.
Hey, by the way, did you and Larry watch it on the computer? Or did you cast it on your big screen?
Well, no, on the big screen, I've got a computer hooked up directly to it. So that's how we were able to watch it. You can cast it.
I didn't know if Larry can see that small, computer screen, because it's old and all that. So it's.
Plus, I mean, who would want to have Larry sitting that close to you, like staring at a computer screen for like 2 hours?
I know.
Let me tell you something. Larry's just a wonderful human being, and so is his wife Mo. I love those people to death.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have them in my life here in Florida. I really am. If it can't be you, it's going to be them. Right.
Well, I'm happy that you have them to fill in the gap when I'm not there for you.
Yeah.
It's not by choice. Trust me. I wish I could be there for you.
I know. Even my parents were talking about coming here. I think they really enjoyed themselves here. They felt human again for a little while, right?
Good.
As opposed to being indoors and locked down and not being able to go grocery shopping and having your groceries delivered and everything. It was really interesting to watch them, like how uptight they were on day one, right? With the whole COVID thing, and how much more relaxed they were right before they left. It was a really unique thing to say. Yeah.
I'm glad that you had him there, and I'm glad that you had a good time.
Yep.
Just a little plug, K110 for the EQ filter in Greece and Liquid Puff stores will have them this week. And of course, DNA Reflex, I'll have it this week at Liquid Puff.
Oh, by the way, if there's any questions, let Bill pass you any last questions. I did see somebody ask me about the how you track the puff strength. Did I see that? Ask that question again. On the Reflex.
I don't know. I'm looking at the questions here. I don't see that question there. Aegis 18-watt pod. I haven't tried it. The Aegis. Have you tried it? Aegis 18-watt pod. Is it good for MTL?
I have not.
Okay. So that's one question that I missed.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, it's crazy how, like, I got the Aegis Pod Pro, Boost Pro, whatever the hell it is, that came in, but like something that would be up my alley, which is that what you're talking about right now, did not come to me. Yeah. So that's crazy.
Here's another question that we missed. This is from Crashman von Stinkputin. That's a great name. Crashman. Will my old green smoke cartomizers work with a battery? Conversely, are the filters cross-compatible with my old eVod sticks? No, on both of those, no. This does not have a connection on it. It's basically touch. You push the pod down and it makes connection with the two little prongs. So you're not going to be able to use your cartomizers. However, you can get those cartomizers and use them on any 510 device that has variable wattage. That way you can, because I'm sure they're 3 ohms, so you'll have to hit them at like 6-7 watts for them to work. So,
Lazarus, first of all, you do know that you need to have a reflex to see that, right? That's the only way you're going to see it is with a reflex. And the version of eScribe that I have to do that is version 2 SP23. If that helps at all.
Yeah, I used it once. It was fun, and I've never used it again. That's always been my experience with this eScribe with DNAs. I used it once and never used it again, ever. All of them, from the 40 to the 60 to the 75 to the 75C to the 100 to the 200, 250. I used it once, and that's it.
Let me see.
Question from Larry. Will Dimi ever give Phil a chance to speak?
No.
Hey, Larry.
All right, so
go fuck yourself. Let
me just
another question. Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good. No, I was just gonna just see if I could do this real quick for Lazarus. Go ahead. Answer your.
Well, and the question revolves around you. You launched the Christmas stocking.
Have I launched it?
Yeah.
Where you been?
I'm not asking the question. It's coming from the chat, buddy. I know. I watched your shit, unfortunately.
Go watch my video. I launched it just yesterday. I think put the video up. The 2020 stocking launch. Yeah. Plus there's the stocking on the top of tasteyourjuice.com, just like there always is. You click that, you find out what's in the stocking. I did a live on the platform page on Facebook announcing that. I did another giveaway there too. But then I launched the 2020 stocking contest, and there's also a standalone video for that on my YouTube channel. So, Lazarus, I just popped open eScribe. Again, I'm on version 2, SP23. I'll go over and switch to this monitor. I'll go to the device monitor right here. Make this bigger. And you can see right here is airflow. See airflow right there? And I'm puffing on it now. See it?
Your puffs are very jumpy. Why are you nervous?
Well, no, that's my puff.
I want to see a straight line. I want to be in a smooth or something, you know?
What's wrong with it? There's something wrong with it.
There you go. That's a nice look. That looks like a penis. Look at that. A penis with 2 balls.
Yeah, something ain't working right. Seems very warm. Oh, well, I don't know.
Everything in vaping is so penis-like, man. I'm tired of it. We need to make something that's vagina-like.
Let's just make a mod and call it vagina.
Vagina. How about we call it cooch?
Cooch. The cooch. Oh, that's a good name. That's a good name for yeah.
That is a good name.
The cooch tank.
That is a good name. That is a good name. Yeah. Oh, by the way, listen, we might do a DP show. I have a new shirt that I want to wear. I want to launch it on your show.
Oh boy.
On the DP show. We might do a show next week.
Oh boy. All right, just let me know. Let me know what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it continues to be lockdown, I ain't got nothing to do after 9 o'clock at night anyway, so I might as well do another show. But, you know, what I want to do, and maybe you can make this happen this week, let's bring Flo from K-Fun on next week. Once we reach out to Flo and have him as a guest on the DB show, we talk about the new K-Fun, obviously, and the new airflow system that they have. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, the industry. I mean, he's been around for a very, very long time. I always enjoy our conversation. He's always very smoker relatable, even though it's not a smoker show, but it's the DP show, and we'll have fun with him. Why don't we do that?
I'm reaching out to Flo.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Reach out.
Yeah, I'll see if he can come on. I reached out to Aaron for this show. Usually he responds, but I'm sure he's been quite busy.
Well, you're not a star of the show. If that was like David Gorlitz or for somebody else, with Grim Green or something like that, he would have responded.
I know that's twice I got boned from his movies. Although there would be the heavier Phil in that movie, and I want this.
I will tell you. After I watched the film, I don't think it would fit in anywhere. Both your interview and my interview as well too. I think that once I saw the concept of what he ended up doing with the film, I think it was better that was left out. I will see some of the stuff that he's going to put up later, because he has a lot of stuff that he's going to put up later. But as far as the film is concerned by itself, I'm glad, because I think honestly that he did a tremendous job with it. I really think that he knocked it out of the park with the way that he put the timeline together and the stories together. Really fit in more so than me coming up and saying, what's the big deal with fucking kids using, a Juul? But which is true, but it doesn't fit that narrative of what he was trying to do. And I respect that.
I totally agree with you. I think he did a fantastic job. I think the movie was really good, and I still think it would have been better with me in it.
I mean, anything with you in it would be better. I mean, I say that when I watch porn movies sometimes. I like it.
Oh, no, that would... no.
So much funnier.
If you want to laugh, if you want to turn a porn movie into a comedy. Okay. All right, my friends. I think that's it. I don't have that slick outro that Dimitri has, so I'll just go ahead and play the intro again and end the stream. So thank everybody for joining us tonight. We always appreciate having you guys with us. But please share these episodes and this show with a smoker. Bring a smoker along with you, please. Have them interact with us so that we could give away the tremendous amount of product that Innokin has supplied us with. Okay, so do that. Make that your job for the next smoker show. Okay, so everybody, thank you very much for watching. Dimitri, final thoughts?
Yes, what Phil said, absolutely, tobacco harm reduction does work, and we're proof of that, and so are millions of other users of electronic cigarettes that have quit smoking with this wonderful invention. And if you don't believe us, go watch You Don't Know Nicotine.
Absolutely. And Dimitri, can you do me one favor, maybe tomorrow or this week?
Yes, what is that?
Okay, please send me a photo of the delicious coffee that you're going to drink in the morning.
Yes.
Send me a photo of the delicious cheese stuffed whatever pastry that you're going to eat.
Yes.
And send me a photo of the delicious gyro and the meat platter stuff that you're going to eat.
I had a gyro today, man. As soon as I got here, they delivered it right at the house. It was I got a sandwich with the gyro and the tzatziki sauce and the tomato, and it was just like juicy and it was delicious. It was really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, I can get a gyro delivered to my house too, but I don't think it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. But there is a new Greek place that opened up in
Yes,
Cape Coral.
You showed me the picture. Yeah, you're starting to forget a lot. You keep repeating yourself to me. You know that, right?
Oh God, yeah. And it's going to get worse before. It's not going to get better. I was going to say it's going to get worse before it's going to get better, but it's not going to get better, so it's just going to get worse. So just keep that in mind.
So I just have to deal with it.
All right, my friend.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you again soon.
But wait, there's more.
I hear this. I'm like, Phil, wait. Can you go back for a second?
Well, because it's important. That's why.
All right.
I got a message from Bill. Dinky Darlings says, I would really like to try the EQ filter vape you have talked about. Can I order from overseas? I dual use and can't seem to stop. Sounds like it would because of the mouthpiece. So Dinky Darlings, get a hold of Phil Busardo on Facebook. Send a message, facebook.com/PhilBusardo. Send him a message, Dinky Darlings, with your name and your address, and he will send out an EQ filter for you to try out so you can stop dual using. That's what we're going to do for you today, Dinky Darlings.
Dinky Darlings.
Dinky Darlings.
It is a cute name, Dinky Darlings. We're going to send you other stuff, too.
It sounds like an exotic dancer's name. Yeah. Come to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Dinky
Darlings. All right,
Go, Dinky.
Go, Dinky. Okay. Yeah, get a hold of me, Dinky, okay? And we'll get you out a filter, and we'll get you out some other stuff, too, okay? All right, now can I push the button?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Outro for Dinky Darlings. Let's go.